lots that we've been able to accomplish as families, and lots to do still ahead of us. And we're excited about our guests this morning. Mallory and Megan are our navigators, social workers. They've been supporting the families in the recent months, I guess for about 14 months maybe, something like that, a little longer than our year.
I think so, since April.
Yeah.
April, yeah.
Anyway, it's good news for our regions, and they're gonna bring us up to speed on, you know, what they've taken from the whole experience so far, and I know that they've drawn some good connections for the families, so we're grateful to have you both here.
Thank you for having us. All right, so so we just thought today we'd kind of give you a bit of a bit of information about the FASD role, what we've learned, and then hopefully at the end get some feedback from you guys for the next year and beyond. And if you have any questions throughout, please feel free to ask us, stop us. So just a bit about the FASD worker role. So it's through Kingston Kids Inclusive, Kingston Health Sciences Center. So Kids Inclusive has the contracts for both Lanark, Leeds-Grenville and KFL&A. Hopefully soon our positions will also be in the community because it's a split position between Mallory and I. So right now we're kind of housed at Kids Inclusive, but we're hoping to be available in the community as well, a bit more available. So it started in April 2018. I think Mallory started in June. Yeah. So just about a year. So it is a full-time position for Lanark, Leeds-Grenville, but again it is split between the two of us. So as the role has been evolving, there's been a lot of engagement in the community with our service providers. And we have been, as much as possible, trying to reach out and just kind of continue to learn from you guys and about all the agencies. So currently we have about 20 families in general, but we're growing steadily. So we do provide a variety of services. It really ranges depending on what in terms of what our families are looking for, school partners and service providers. So I'll kind of run through kind of in general what we've been providing over the last year. So consultation, collaboration with partners and partner agencies and schools, connect children and youth and their families with appropriate agencies, support and services as needed. We provide referrals for funding support, therapy services, counseling, extracurricular activities. We help families find out where to get diagnostic services, helping them through that process as well. We attend IEP, IPRC meetings, case conferences. We link them with coordinated service planning as needed as well. And I'll kind of touch on that a little bit later. Service coordination. So this may involve case coordination as well, but also just kind of helping you kind of navigate the system. The system navigation piece of it has been very important and huge and growing as well. So we also try to develop a strength-based support plan and help you achieve goals. We are trying to build in and utilize the 6Fs of 6S framework from the CanChild website. Information sharing, not only with families but caregivers, schools. So we have provided some education to our agencies, schools as needed. Also linking families to resources online, but also that are available in the community. Transition planning, we've also been trying to support our families with transitioning into school, also into the adult life as well, the adult world, which I know is not easy. So we certainly try to do that. We try to attend appointments as needed with our families or with our children and youth as well. Of course, we collaborate with you guys. So the list kind of goes on. We really try to find out what it is the families are looking for and really just kind of meet your needs. So it is continuously evolving as well. So as the role is evolving, we're learning from you as well. So the one thing that we thought we'd kind of touch on as well is just in terms of the integrated services. So we work really hard to integrate services both within Kids Inclusive and with our many partner agencies as well. Specifically, it was planned that the coordinated service, the single plan of care, the service planning coordinator, so the one at the bottom there, and the FASD worker split, at least initially. So we wanted to really kind of blend those together. So we do, as much as possible, try to provide a single plan of care and case coordination. Sometimes we do need to bump it up to the dedicated, the coordinated service planner for a variety of reasons. But really we just want to kind of show that the diagnostics, our role itself, system navigation and coordinated service planner is really kind of one integrated service that we work hard to make sure that you're connected to everything that you need.
So I'm just going to review kind of where our referrals have been coming from. So we've been getting referrals from parents and caregivers, Lanark Community Programs, R&J Youth Services, Open Doors are the main agencies that we've received referrals from. The Rural FASD Support Network, so whether people have connected with you guys and then referrals coming in, or people have become involved with the Rural FASD Support Network first and then connect with us. The Kids Inclusive teams, so we do have a hub for the diagnostic piece there. So we do get some referrals after a diagnosis has been made or query of FASD diagnosis, as well as other KI programs. We've been getting referrals from child and adolescent psychiatry at the KGH site and child and youth mental health program at the Hotel Dieu site. So the age of our clients ranges from about 2 to 19 at this point. And we have, I think, we have about 20 families, but 25 children or youth on our caseload. Sorry. So currently there's 15 children or clients being served in Lanark and 10 being served in Leeds and Grenville, but that changes often. So what we have learned. So the service provider knowledge of FASD within our agencies varies. So lots of agencies sending staff for different training sessions or hosting their own training days. And a lot of agencies and staff are really interested in learning about FASD and collaborating with us. October and June were a very busy time. We've noticed June is very busy. But we also noticed the fall, so like October with the school meetings and things like that really picked up as well. Kind of the honeymoon stage, I guess, from school ended in October. Frequent check-ins are helpful, so even if families are doing well, some just like to know that we are there and that we are connected. This also applies to checking in with other agencies and service providers to see how we can assist and help out. Learning about crisis services, so learning is endless in this role, but it is a positive thing. And knowing the crisis services out there is a necessity. Locating and accessing funding is very challenging. Which I'm sure you all know. We've really relied on families, so the families are the experts. Learning very resourceful, wonderful advocates, and have been connecting other families with other families is really great. So any family who I've suggested they connect with you guys, they've had nothing but positive things to say and say how great a support you are to them. We've also learned about how to work collaboratively with community partners and what their roles are. So, and also teaching them about what our role is. And ensuring that we're not kind of duplicating services or stepping on other agencies' toes and things like that. Being involved with and knowledgeable about cross-sectorial and multi-level planning tables, services, advocacy has helped to expand our knowledge and understanding for both families and service providers. And then we have we'd like to have some suggestions for next year and beyond. So if people are listening online, we invite them to provide feedback at kidsinclusive.ca/contact us and provide an email with any thoughts that they have. So there's a list on here to please consider the following. So if you received information about the types of services you can access, do you feel you've received adequate information from the FASD worker, as well as if you currently or have access to the FASD worker role. What has been helpful, what has not been helpful, and then any suggestions. And we do have a copy of a questionnaire that we'd like to send out to you guys. We have it here if you want to take a few minutes, either now or at the end, and just kind of give us a bit of feedback, because your feedback is really important.
Yeah, especially with it being a new role, we really want to make sure that we're providing the services that we should be to not only you guys, but also service providers. So really, any feedback you can provide us would be really helpful in planning for next year, and just beyond too. We really want to make sure this role is helpful. And also because across the province, excuse me, the role is quite different, I think. So we just really want to make sure that we're giving you guys the best service we can.
Is there any questions at this point?
I don't have any questions, but from Robert and my perspective, you've been a godsend for us, Mallory, just especially with the youngest and the oldest. So you've really helped us get them on track, and so thank you.
I have the same feedback. We've had some looking for information, and you've been helpful in getting that information for us. For kind of future thinking, and I don't know if this is your role, but advocacy around diagnostic services, the wait list and the ability to get diagnosis is pathetic, and that's actually not a strong enough word. It actually feels immoral that we have people waiting and being able to get into a diagnostic service is almost impossible. The waits are terrible.
Yeah, and I know there's some people who don't think diagnosis is important, but from our perspective it is, because it helps us understand, number one, the root cause of what's going on, and we can actually plan effective solutions and strategies when we have that diagnosis, when we're blowing in the wind, because that's what it feels like when we don't have a diagnosis. You know, it's challenging. It's even more challenging. I mean, and even though we don't have a lot of resource support and like that's still building, and we're still advocating for that, the diagnosis does help get what we can get, right? So, yeah.
And I think too, even building on that too, with the understanding between the types of diagnostics there are, because there's psychoeducational, there's psychocognitive, and then there's neuropsych as well. And I think there's also a need to continue to educate around the difference, like the differences in between the different, like those three types of testing, and how valuable and important they are for families and even schools as well, and service providers to really understand the strengths and needs of each individual.
Yeah, and the occupational therapy. I think that for us is the other big piece is our youngest has huge sensory challenges, and I think some of the people in this room really understand what that means. So just, I think we know a lot now compared to when we first got the diagnosis. Like we've done a lot of learning, and so I'm not sure for new people getting, you know, into this world, how much you share with them. But like that was, like we had a huge learning curve, and so for new families getting diagnoses or thinking that this might be FASD, really helping them understand how important OT is and how important those psychological assessments are and what they mean, because that's a big learning curve as well. And to advocate for your kids, you need to understand those.
Yep.
I think that's a really good point, that we're 3 years past the diagnostic piece, and only in the last year do I think we really got how important OT and sensory strategies were. And even just in the last 2 months have gotten to a place where they're fully implemented at school. And you know, I think if we, you know, if I know now, it would have pushed so much harder on that part 3 years ago. It's not to say that it's not important that we're doing it now, but it's one of those things that I wish I had known sooner.
And we all know that early intervention is key, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So again, I'm sure you probably do that already, knowing you guys. But those are the two pieces I think that new families really don't understand the importance of. And the earlier we can get those pieces implemented, the better for the child going forward. We see a significant change in Jacob versus what we went through with Skylar, and we're very hopeful for teenage years with him. Very, like the teenage years for Skylar, very like you were. It was tough. I had to take 8 months off work because of my own health, because of what was going on. So it's important.
And I think we've learned a lot about what the important services are from the families and from this group to know what we really need to push for and advocate and make sure that the new families coming in are aware of, like the OT services and things like that. Especially if it's kind of school-based, then we need to get on that wait list right away. So, and figure
I
things
would
out. So.
share too that as you're working with adolescents, you know, to help them understand the language they can use for themselves, you know, to self-advocate, to recognize triggers that are happening as they're in a classroom setting or out in a restaurant where there's a lot of sensory triggers that could be happening that, you know, maybe that's something that you can put in what you're trying to share with the families in the coming months.
And I don't know if you got any of them, but we did resources at back at the table here. The little pamphlets of when you get your FASD assessment and how you know, all those kinds of things. Please take some that you can share with families that you need, because that's what they're intended for. It's what we use some of our money for.
They have been very helpful, and even for our other service providers as well. It's just a nice kind of quick reference. Yeah, and especially not trying to duplicate the information as well. So it's great to have those quick resources to hand out to families and service
Yeah, and we got
providers.
those from the Wabana Center in Wabana, right?
Asante.
Asante, sorry, Wabana's in Ottawa. Asante Center in BC. We didn't do like we just said, can we use these? They said yes. They sent us the PDF.
They do resource work, and they've been in place for over 20 years.
Yeah.
Working on this in British Columbia.
Yeah.
I know that I've been one of the Robert families, if it wasn't for Megan and Robert and Shelley getting out the words from their experience and professional of what's going on in my head, the things that I think, like, for example, the sensory thing, the what? I think I'd be lost, because I don't know where to go or who to talk to, even when it comes to like the schools, trying to explain to them that, oh, this doesn't work, you have to do this. And they look at me and go, yes, you're just a stupid mother. Having other people explain to me how things work, and even the schools or whoever.
Just even the language, right?
Yes.
The language that
The language is a big thing when you're denied your disability tax credit.
Just to give a timeline of stuff too, like before we went to private road, we were still on the CHEO wait list. My memory's a little foggy on it, but I think it was at least a year or 2 months, maybe more. And not even a phone call to say, you're still on the list, you know, like, and that causes a lot of frustration and anxiety because there's no feedback. And after we went private, and then it was 2 months after that, our GP asked us, do you still want to be on the wait list? And I said, too late, already gone, you know, but that's also a financial burden on families, right?
That's a really good feedback too, because in our role as well, because it's a split position, so we also do the system navigation for Kids Inclusive, so that involves the diagnostic piece as well. And some of those families aren't either, you know, our families, or some are in KFLNA, so we're not linked as the FASD worker, and even Hastings, Prince Edward as well. So we provide some diagnostic services for that catchment area. So it's really helpful for us to know to check in with those families as well. We do as much as possible, but I think there's also more power and strength behind it when a family says, yeah, if you could just check in and say, this is where we are, that we're still on the wait list, because it's very long, and it's at least a year to 2 years, depending on if you have the psych test or you don't. So that's really helpful feedback. So we'll certainly try to do that on our end as well, in our other role, just to check in and see where things are
And the
at.
challenge we have in this community is some of us go to CHEO, some of us go to Kingston. Like it's just, we're in that weird
Yes.
area that
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you're not getting the same consistency of, so
No.
depending on who you're dealing with, it depends what it looks like, and which, you know, for families, it's that kind of stuff that I think stresses us out because we're dealing with so much with our kids that having to figure out, okay, what do these people want versus these people, it just gets overwhelming, so.
I think the other challenge too, when we talk about diagnostics is it's also why we say it's actually a 6-year wait, because even at GEO, you have to have all the other assessments in place before you can even come in. So if you're needing to wait for the OT assessment and you're having to wait for the speech language assessment, all of those are 2-year, they're all 18 months to 24 months for each of those lists as well. So if you're coming in from ground zero to the very end, it realistically is 6 to 7 years right now.
So when we talk early intervention, right, your kids are,
Yeah.
Your kids are long past
That's-
6.
you're long past us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if they don't get diagnosed,
Yeah.
you're in trouble with getting
Yes.
even an official diagnosis until they're 10 or 11.
And having the wrong label for that long, or professional, like, everyone, the most progressive workers like to say, oh, we don't like labeling kids, yada, yada, yada. But in this case, ADHD versus FASD is a massive,
Yeah.
I'm just at a loss for words, right?
Yeah.
Only label for behavior
Yeah.
in the school system.
I do wonder if there's room for us to look at advocating again. It's going to be my word today. But especially for those of us who have adopted kids through CAS. If there's ways that we can advocate for CAS to do more of those proactive assessments as part of the replacement. Because those assessments can really make a difference, and then we can build on those, right? Like they can really set a nice baseline, and they can be built on for further assessment, because oftentimes CAS knows or suspects prenatal exposure, and so if some of that could happen in the journey through permanency and adoption, then I think that could streamline and move some of these things further for the kids.
Yeah.
There's 2 pilot programs that are running. One is with Toronto CAS and one is with one of the Northern CAS regions that are partnered with Kids Starting Health Network, where they're doing exactly that as any kid comes into care. And in those 2 agencies, there's an automatic screening, and then the rally based on that. And the one that's running for Kids Starting Health Network, James Reynolds, is running. And they're far enough along now that they can actually share outcomes for those kids 2 years down. And it is startling how different it is. And on the Toronto CAS one, they're 3 years into that pilot, and they're showing similar results. And so it is, I think it's your question of how do you take, there's 2 pilots now that have multi-year programs that clearly show there's different outcomes for these kids. So I agree with you on the moral aspect of this. It's also, I think, being able to say, which we now can, there's a clear cost difference to the government who's running child welfare systems, that this is not about making this more expensive, this is actually about being able to save money, right? In addition to just doing the right thing for these kids. There's no reason to not do this.
Well, that's been the experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're yours, they're not our problem anymore. Yeah, too bad.
So it'd be great, maybe you could share those, that information on Facebook so that everybody gets a chance to take a look at it.
Yeah, and James Reynolds did a presentation for our King student group with the results of their study, so we'll just make sure we can share it, but if we can, we can post that on.
Thank you.
Part of the CAS and even asking if they're not used alcohol. Because that was a question with our children, we had to find that confirmed through birth family 3 years later. And if you went to CHEO, it had to be confirmed that there was alcohol use diagnosis.
Yeah. Well, I think that's where Tracy's coming, is that it isn't consistently applied through all CASs. And so these 2 pilot projects are consistently screening for that. And so if we can advocate
for it in a broader way than just saying to a provider.
Yeah.
They're looking at family members, they're looking at medical records, they're widening the definition of how they're recognized. are the others.
And so I think what we want to try and do is promote all CAS need to be doing these policies, because they're not right now, and so we're in the situation like that you guys were in. You know, 3 years later, you're fighting to try and find out, because without it, you don't get a diagnosis.
It's also from like a doctor, like physician
Yeah.
perspective as well too, right? So asking those questions, and I know there has been some increase in advocating for them to be asking those questions as well. And I think from the diagnostic piece too, we have been getting more referrals for kids that are like 3 months old. So
Yes.
it is, they
Yeah.
will get on our list and things like that. So for some it is, I think the advocacy and just knowledge and everything, they have, the doctors have received that and have been
Yeah.
making those referrals early, which
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can do it privately too. Any knowledge is not what,
Yeah.
most of us that do it going on. Or like Rob said, a blend of, we've gone and done the assessments and all the supporting staff privately. And then gone through the GO route or kids inclusive to get to the diagnosis.
But we bring all our paper.
Yeah.
And all the money that went, they get all that paper, and say, here you go, and they review it, and then they do the facial.
Yeah, no, I have the pre-stuff, I have all the paper, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to do someplace private to get the actual.
There are a few options, but they're quite costly, and then there's still wait lists for them as well.
Costly like what?
$1,000.
Really,
Yeah.
thousands.
To get, if you have all the paperwork,
Yeah.
there's a couple places where you can send it privately, but it's gonna cost you $1,000.
If you've got all the paperwork. But you went and got all the paperwork from.
4,500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full package.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those,
Yeah. So really, it does depend on what route you go and how much you can get covered, you know, if you're fortunate enough and have benefits, some of the stuff is covered through benefits, so you can reduce some of those costs.
If you have adopted, I don't know if you have, but there are ways of getting funds and family medical services. We got 12,000 for therapy for kids. So it's easy, but we got it.
it's gonna be harder now because they do tests.
Yes.
And I think the private route also depends if you have everything that they need, right? So it may end up costing more than that if there's a few more assessments that need to be done, right?
Exactly. So it varies.
What you guys are doing in the basement council is so much nicer being able to pick up the phone, talk to me, talk to me, email, and Megan does the checking for me. I don't have to make complaints with Ministry of Health because I'm not getting services.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, it's been amazing to work with you guys as well. Your strength, determination, you guys are all very inspiring and incredible to work with. So sometimes I say, can I do more? Because I feel like I'm not doing enough. But it's been a really wonderful year, a challenging year, but in a good way as well. To learn about all the resources and just connecting and making sure we're doing a good job. So thank you guys as well. You're all amazing and wonderful to work with. So we just hope that we can continue to provide some great service for you guys.
And I do have one question, I was just you may have mentioned it, but I heard through the little grapevine that you guys are at full capacity in your role as FASD for the most part, as far as, like,
So we don't, I think what is it, 50 families for a caseload?
Yeah, so we would be split between two, so I think they're expecting like 25 each. But I think that is a high number to be able to provide adequate service to families, and especially depending on the needs of the families and kind of the goals. So if one family is looking at just some basic system navigation, then that's, or just kind of monitoring if you need anything, whereas some other families need a bit more. So I'm not sure that we're at.
well, that's what I mean by full capacity, like, you guys are